And so ends the DCEU with the release of Aquaman 2 this week. It's a bitter farewell, a bittersweet farewell, I guess, in a sense. I mean, we don't know how good Aquaman 2 is going to be. Some of us have gotten to see it, some of us have not. The DCEU started 10 and a half years ago in June of 2013 with Man of Steel, which was a fantastic movie in my opinion. In my honest opinion, it is still to be topped in the genre. I think it is the best superhero origin film to date. It has not been topped. But you take a look at what has happened over the last 10 plus years with DC, with the superhero genre, and what could have been, whether it's Zack Snyder, Walter Hamada, Jeff Johns, whomever it could have been that was running that studio, running that brand, that franchise. And it just never lived up to its potential. It never was able to fulfill what we all expected and thought it could be. We've all heard the stories. We know what happened in 15 and 16 and 17 with the backstabbing of Jeff Johns and Zack Snyder and John Berg. And then Walter Hamada comes in and does this and does that. And then we have, AT&T sell and Discovery come in and James Gunn then comes in. We know the story. And that's the thing. The DCEU had to end at some point. If not just because of the lack of cohesion and lack of vision, for just simply to give us something to look forward to. And whether you love James Gunn, whether you don't like what James Gunn has done in the past, or you're not looking forward to what James Gunn is doing here, the one thing that you have to admit, being a fan of DC, if you are truly a fan of DC, the one thing you have to admit is that the future for DC hasn't been this bright since January of 2016. See, in January of 2016, that was when Jeff Johns and Kevin Smith had a special presentation on the CW where they laid out this plan of all these different movies that were going to be coming out for the DCEU, which they didn't even call the DCEU at the time. Since then, we got a few of those films to come out, most of which fell to the wayside, became something different, didn't live up to the hype, what have you. So since 2016, it's just been a hodgepodge mess of just movies that we weren't expecting, movies that we didn't know we wanted, didn't think we wanted, didn't really want. And here we sit in 2023. We're talking, 7 years later? And we don't have a cohesive DC universe. That's just wild to me to think that characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, we don't have a universe for those characters. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I would have loved to have seen what Zack Snyder would have done. But Zack Snyder's universe had a finality to it. His Ben Affleck Batman would not have lived on for more than his 5 movies. His Wonder Woman may not have been around much longer than that. Henry Cavill's Superman, yeah, he wanted to stick around for a while, but that whole story is for another day. But right now, as we're about to enter 2024, as the DCEU is wrapping up officially with the release of Aquaman 2, the DC brand for films has never been brighter. That could all fall away. That could all come apart when Superman Legacy comes out. It could. But I'm banking that it doesn't. I'm banking that Superman Legacy comes out and it's going to be a huge hit. People are going to love it. And then we're going to see Brave and the Bold. And then we're going to see Swamp Thing. And then we're going to see Paradise Island. And then we're going to see this. And then that universe is just going to build. And we're going to see what a coherent, story-driven DC film franchise actually looks like. And honestly, I can't wait to see it. I really can't. But I wanted to get this out there because I want to know what you all think of the DCEU. What are your thoughts? What did you think of the last 10 and a half years of DC films? Look, I know there's going to be the Snyder fans that go in the comments and, oh, Zack Snyder should have done this, Zack Snyder this, Zack Snyder that. But honestly, Zack Snyder aside, what could have been done differently? Again, Zack Snyder aside, what could have and should have been done differently? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Love to hear what you have to say. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.